At this point, I've been through many worlds, sculled across a terraformed Mars to be lost in waves, visited countries abound in motorrad, learning about the vastness of the world. It's high time I took some respite before heading off again. But here I am again, right before setting off to another venture with a complication. It landed on my doorsteps one drowsy afternoon. The drudges of a diary sent to me by a friend. They told me about the journeys they had been reading of someone from a faraway land, of someone like myself, who was a traveler, and of someone whose story may compete with my own. I never found it productive to engage in that kind of rhetoric. There's no point in clashing heads when it comes to our stories. The old adage of the more the merrier is one of assurance, a variety, so experiences entrench everybody. But the question of taste and even time comes around, and so I thought it wouldn't hurt to indulge. In this world, there are many mages. Even if they are all called mages, there are the novices who can only do simple magic, the apprentice witches, and the full witches, who are at the top. To start one's journey with such exposition, while it definitely sets a tone, there's importance in the people, in the world, to indicate such a thing. Who is the beautiful girl wearing a brooch that signals her status as a witch, whose ashen hair flutters in the wind, shining so much with beauty and talent that even the sun's eyes squint involuntarily? Well, to have so much description be at the forefront of narration, this is an entirely different tone than my journey. That's right, it's me. Well, this Elaina is definitely one of pride, or an overabundance of vanity. Well, oddly enough, it's refreshing. To have such a strong narrative pull through a character with a nonchalant, non-apologetic personality is entertaining. More often than not, main characters with personalities we've seen before, or lack thereof, can be quite uninviting. But Elaina is striking in who she is, and through that, the stories she goes through are enhanced with that alluring personality. With her as a narrator and a filter, the places she goes through and the situations, which can vary from dark to heartwarming, are all processed alongside her own interpretation and actions, which make it less direct but more manageable. She, as a curator of the stories and as an active part of them, is still very much neutral and a reliable narrator, but she does allow the impact and the severity of the situations that much more digestible with who she is. She's oftentimes overbearing, oftentimes haughty, and oftentimes unapologetic, but she is entertaining, and she is fun to have. And she is, without question, a traveler, an observer. Not only is Elaina's involvement in her stories a guiding force, but the people she meets, the other characters, are also a huge part of her journey. Elaina, unlike many of the stories I may write about, have a focus first on who she meets. Her stories are so ingrained in these characters that create a centerpiece for her journey and are as integral as any moral or cultural questioning that I may be more inclined to explore. As interesting and vivid her worlds and countries are, the people she meets really anchor the experience in something tangible and emotional. To see Elaina interact, react, and even grow from who she meets, it gives her journey movement and direction. The characters she meets are also great conduits for meaning and intrigue. They all seem to be fleshed out with their own stories to tell and their own lives alongside the worlds Elaina visits. And it's enough to invest me, but also enough to know that when Elaina has to leave, that it's earned, that however she comes to experience these countries and the characters' stories has been genuine. Apart from the characters that make Elena's journey such a treat to be invited into, the world she lives in is also one of importance. I've traveled a great deal of roads myself, but magic is fiction. However, in Elena's journey, this aspect is vital, crucial even, to many of the places she's visited, and is another central part of the world, always allowing assurance of consistency. The way things are described, the vibrant imagery of magic being used, and many of the overall situations are hinged on this aspect. The magical aspect of Eleina's journey is brilliant, as it not only expands what kinds of stories she may encounter, but also expands its reach. A grounded story, founded in realism with a few quirks and oddities like mine, is just that. But to add an extra bit of flair, and all of a sudden your world opens up to many more possibilities, with so much more mechanisms to handle those stories as well. Not to mention, the magic is just cool. Although I haven't the full manuscript for the journey presented to me, I can say that from what I've experienced, it's entertaining and even thought-provoking in a very fresh and engaging way. Even beyond the similarities such a journey may share with mine, it has so many unique features and aspects that makes it stand and shine all on its own. The vibrant character-focused approach, along with the draw of the magical, all combine to make this journey entrancing, and I can't help but recommend people to give it a shot, to see if this version of the journey is as interesting as the many others available. Well, I've gone on for a little bit now, and have more to do. The endless worlds are endlessly waiting, but I can go now with confidence that many would find joy in a journey with someone named Elaina.